Hey,
Hi.
how are
Oh
you?
my gosh. I'm good. I'm
You're good.
great. How are
You're
you?
good. I'm good. It's so good to see you. Yeah.
Good to see
y-
you.
yeah. You get these unexpected things sometimes.
I was like, really? Of all, like, literally walked in the door, like, right when I was like, all right.
Do you mind telling our viewers why we're starting a little late?
Yes, I had to have someone watch me pee this morning. I had a guest in my bathroom that delayed things a bit. Yes, all big fan of clean sport, so love that, but it's just so unexpected when they show up and then you just gotta wait until I'm like thankfully I had had big coffee like right before she had gotten got here. It's like, okay.
So your drug test, we'll get into our conversation a bit, but this just was a fun way to start it. So you have to be on call. So for doping tests like this, you basically anywhere, wherever you are, whenever someone can show up and it's right there and then, right?
Yeah, basically. So you have like your whereabouts. So at your expected, it's your responsibility basically to update your whereabouts whenever you leave town. If you technically, if you go to an appointment, if you go anywhere, you have to update your whereabouts basically. So we'll fill them out and put like our daily routine typically, but yeah, so then you have like an hour window every day. So I usually do mine at like 7 a.m. That way, like sometimes I've had it where I wake up, she's like knocking on my door, and then it's the first thing. So I know I got to go to the bathroom. Time it out perfectly. But yeah, they can show up anywhere at any time, and you're expected
Anytime.
to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pee right on cue.
Well, hey, Annie, thank you so much for joining us. So today, Annie Kunz, amazing Olympic heptathlete and a good friend of the brand. You've been along since the beginning. I mean, we obviously launched with you, and I'm super pumped to talk to you in our micropod. Which we do biweekly, and what we do with these is trying to figure out things that we may not know from our ambassadors, friends of the brand, amazing athletes, and the theme is sort of fitness hacks that you use to get stronger. But maybe before we jumped into it, you just came back from Austria, right? From
Yeah, I
competing?
just got
Yeah,
back. Yeah, I just got back from Austria a few weeks ago. For that was my first heptathlon since Tokyo. So it was because I was injured last year. For those of people don't know, I was injured last year, so I had to take the season. So that was my first hep back. And it went really well. Had its
good,
ups and downs like any heptathlon would, but overall I was really happy with it. I placed sixth there.
good.
Six seems to be my number. I got six at the Olympics. I got six. I got six.
I think
That's
one is your number. You're just working there towards
I'm
there.
working there. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
climbing our way. So it was a really good meet. Yeah, thank you for asking.
That's cool, cool. Hey, so when did you, so just backing up a little bit, when did you decide that professional sports was going to be your thing?
Um, Gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I think from a very young age, I think there was like an interview in high school when I did both soccer. I played college soccer for those who don't know me too, and I was actually a soccer player most of my life, and then transitioned to track. But I think like there was an interview in high school. I remember they asked me like, "What do you want to go to the Olympics in?" And I was like, "Both. I want to do both." So I think from a young age that was always my dream. It was always my goal. But I think when it started to becoming more of a reality and actual something that I thought I could attain, probably my last year of college, I was going to continue to do soccer. That was my plan to go professional in soccer. Um, and then the way things played out, I did a redshirt year and I did a full year of track and field. That was the first time I dove fully into the just track and field for the first time in my life, and it took off for me. And then when I qualified for the Olympic trials that year, it was really unexpected. I placed going into the Olympic trials, I was like 22nd. And then I had a huge meet. I finished eighth place. And so that really opened my eyes to, okay, like there's something here. Like shit, maybe I should have been doing track this whole time fully. And yeah, I just felt like my ceiling in track and field was a lot higher, and I wanted to explore that. And I think I was more in love with the sport at that time too. And so it really became more of a reality then. And I got recruited there to come train at the Olympic Training Center. So that opportunity to me was like, okay, like we could really see if there's something here.
Cool. That's super cool. So I watched, followed a little bit on, especially on your IG, around, from Austria and then before. But I'm always curious. So you've got 7 disciplines, right, that you go through. Do you have like a pre uh pre-discipline ritual that you go through? Is there something you go through for each of these?
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I definitely have like a system. I read this book a few years back. It's called With Winning in Mind, and it's this world champion and Olympic shooter, and it's all about your mental management system. And with that sport, they have to hit the trigger in between their heartbeats. So like if you're nervous and your anxiety is high, it's really hard. So it was really interesting. So he kind of created this book for athletes, for CEOs, for everyone to kind of create this mental management system. And so that for me, because I'm just a good like list person, it really works for me. So for each event, I have like I'm gonna visualize. I have my 2 cues that I think about, and then I take like I really try to get like present with my breathing. So I kind of have like a system in place for each event, and then like usually 2 max 3 cues that I'm thinking about to try to execute. And yeah, a lot of meditation too, just throughout my competing helps me a lot to just kind of ground myself and get present and not get caught up in like the anxieties of the events to come, or stuck on an event that I'd already passed. And it's really just being present in the moment for each event.
Got it. Yeah, that's amazing. So we've talked a lot about sports. If you weren't an athlete, what
Yes.
would you be? What would you do?
I'd have my own show on HGTV. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you
um,
would, and you may still.
I would love that. No, so my dad builds custom homes, and my mom is a real estate agent, and they flip houses. They just started recently, like the last 5 years, flipping houses. So I've like grown up in, design and architecture and all that. So I love it. I think that after track, I would love to like flip houses. I think that would be like the dream, or staging, or manage properties and design them, make them cute, like something. I just love design and interior decorating and all that stuff. So probably that maybe would be my
Love
next.
it. Love it. Love it. That's so good. So
Yeah.
you know, back to sports. Any superstitions?
mm, I don't feel like I'm a very like superstitious person. I never really have. And I had like, even like, so I think soccer players are like so superstitious. I had a girl that like would put something in her shin guard every day, like every game, like weird stuff. I'm really not that superstitious, and I'm kind of glad, because I feel like that makes you feel like everything has to be perfect and
Yeah.
aligned for everything to go right. And I really try to be like go with the flow, like especially with the heptathlon, like if you go into a hep thinking everything's going to be perfect, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So you got to be able to just roll with the punches. So I try to be more like free flowing in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a ton of sense. Cool. So you're an athlete. You're obviously completely in tune with your body. You spend a lot of time training, and then a lot of people watching, are not as you know, don't have the neither discipline nor specificity that you have in training. What kind of hacks do you have that can improve your routines? Whether that's how you work out, or your diet, or how you recover. That's kind of what we're trying to get to here.
Yeah, I mean, I probably the biggest thing that like changed my life that I'm just grateful for, because I'll just continue to live that way past track and field, is the way I fuel myself, and my supplement routine. So like my advice to everyone that I know and talk to is to like work with, I like hormone specialists, or like more of like a holistic approach type, like metabolic practitioner, something in that way. Because I started working with one in 2019, and I think the thing that not everyone is the same, and she figures out where my hormone deficiencies are, or hormone imbalances are, what I'm deficient in, and really puts me on like a supplement protocol that can kind of get me balanced and to optimal performance and just feeling good. So that is like probably the one of the biggest thing, is find a really good clean supplement brand to work with or to use, and then work with someone that kind of can set you up to figure out where those imbalances are, where you're deficient in, because that made a huge difference for me, because everyone is just so different. There's not a one size fits all. And then the way I eat, people are gonna laugh, but like I joke that steak is my love language, but like it is. I started eating that way. She kind of helped me get on this protocol with my nutrition too, and how to fuel properly. So I eat like a steak like 3-4 days a week for breakfast. It's the best.
Wow.
And I'll eat like chicken or salmon. It kind of just depends, but I do like a very non-traditional style of protein for breakfast. And it sounds crazy, but I'll do that with like, macadamia nuts or berries for my carb source and my fats. And when I started eating that way, my energy was like not even comparable. Like I used to get on the track and I would just be so dragging, like so tired. I would just like eat like, eggs or whatever for breakfast, and it just wasn't enough. And the protein, I would be hungry like real before lunch and things like that. So I would really stress like a high protein, high fat to start the day, like really solid protein for breakfast. Because I think carbs it's kind of that like, let's have like oatmeal or a lot of carbs in the morning and then you just kind of crash. So
Yeah, goes up and down quicker. Yeah.
that would be my hack, because I've noticed such a difference. And I just got way leaner eating that way. And I feel like I stay satisfied longer. It's just like a better relationship with food too. And I just feel like I'm fueling myself, feel like a well-oiled machine eating that way. So that would definitely be my hack for sure.
That's really, really cool. And it's interesting too. A couple of things. One is just how the importance of nutrition, which we know it was a long time where people like, well, I want a six pack and start doing sit-ups, and then that it starts in the kitchen. It starts with what you eat. And I
Totally.
think, which is what you're calling out. But the other thing I think is the individuality. To me, it's interesting with all the things that are coming up. Some people go, well, I do, intermittent fasting, or I do this or that. And then the assumption is that it works for everyone. I think
Yeah.
the key thing that I take out of this is it's so incredibly individual. And there's more and more theories around really listening to your body. What works for you may not work for someone else, but find what that is, just to your point, to keep your energy levels high. And one trick might be eat a steak for breakfast.
Try it.
I'm gonna try
Try
it.
it.
I'm gonna try it.
Try it and tell me how you feel. It's kind of
Absolutely.
the first, but then like you'll wake up like mouth watering for steak. It's like my favorite. But you're so
Okay.
right. It's really individualized, and I feel like there's not a one size fits all for that either. And like that's what I'm so grateful for. I work with Cynthia Monteleone. I think her Instagram is fast over 40 if anyone's interested. But she like reach out to her if you're looking for some help too, because she does that exactly with my supplements. She does it with my nutrition. And she figures out like for me, I thought like, I can't have carbs. Like it doesn't go. And she's like, no, like your body metabolizes carbs great. Like you need your carbs, you need your potatoes, you need, so they're just things that might work great for me, but not work great for someone else. So it's just so catered to like what works for you and your body. So that's awesome advice as well.
That's great. I love it. Love it. All right, let's move to OMORPHO. We got to talk about OMORPHO too. I mean, you've obviously tried all our gear and you train in it. And I'm just curious. So of our products in our collection, which is your favorite and why?
My favorite is, well, I think I use the weight vest the most probably, and that's probably my favorite. I also love the look of it. But also the leggings, I think for especially what I do with sprinting, with jumping and things like that, I can just throw those on and I know that I'm going to get more out of my jumps and things like that. So those are probably my two go-to products that I love the most out of OMORPHO.
Great. I love it. Love it. So I'm going to do a handful of rapid fire questions. Actually, we try, what we love about this conversation, which has been amazing, is we call them micropods, because we want it to be 20 minutes real quick. Because sometimes, you get into a podcast and it's 2.5 hours. It might be a little long.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to go into rapid fires and then we'll take some questions from people watching us. But so here we go. Fitness tracker or instinct?
Instinct.
Hot dog or hamburger?
Hot dog.
Hip hop or rock?
Rock.
Or something else?
Country.
Mexico or Hawaii?
Mexico.
Okay. Champagne or vodka?
Ugh, neither, but I guess
Ne-
champagne.
Well, when you're
Champagne's
not
more
training,
funny.
what would be your drink of choice if you're not training and competing?
Oh gosh, I really used to love drinking. I really don't anymore. Probably tequila. Tequila Annie's a fun time.
Okay, that's good. I love it. All right, so if you could choose one food, I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You could choose one food to eat for the rest of the life of your life. What would it be?
A ribeye
Okay.
with Kerrygold butter.
Okay, Kerrygold butter ribeye it is.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a favorite podcast?
Oh, I like Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert. I think his is really good. I listen to him a lot.
Great. That's
Mhm.
awesome. All right, cool. Well, hey, to close it up, we'll take a few questions here. One of them is, did you always know you wanted to be a heptathlete, or did you start with something different? And we kind of answer that, right?
Hell no. I didn't know what the heck the heptathlon was. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I got recruited as a hep because in high school I did the 300 hurdles, I did the 100 hurdles, I did triple jump, long jump, and I got thrown in the 4x2. So they're like, "Oh, you'd be a great heptathlete." I was like, "Cool, sounds great. What's that mean?" And then I got thrown into one, and I will never forget the death glare I gave my coach after the 800. I was like, what did I sign up for? This was not what I expected. Yeah, so I did not know or expect to be a heptathlete. But I'm so grateful that I fell into it because it's such a fun sport.
That's awesome. And then, yeah, we may have asked, but Amber here from San Jose is asking, what's the hardest event within the heptathlon?
Ooh. Well, hmm. I would say the hardest event technically is the javelin. It is the most technical event. It is so foreign, especially to me. I didn't grow up throwing things. So yeah, I would say the javelin is the most technically difficult. The 800 is the most physically difficult in my eyes, for sure. That's the reason it's at the end. It's the last event because you are not doing anything after an 800.
That's cool. Awesome. All right. And last question then before we wrap up. What's next? What's coming up from a
Yeah.
competition standpoint?
Yeah, so I have USA's in 2 weeks to qualify for World Championships, which are in Budapest this year. So prayers that goes well. And yeah, and then honestly, we're on the Olympic year. We're already here again. So it's really exciting. I can't believe it's gone by so fast. So yeah, so hopefully World Championships would be in August and then take like a month off to kind of reboot, and then we're on the Olympic year season. So super exciting stuff ahead.
Exciting. Super, super excited. Thank you so much for coming on. We really, we root for you. We love the fact that you're using OMORPHO and Gravity Sportswear to prepare for it. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's always love talking to you. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Annie, and good luck with
You
everything this year and
guys,
next. All
I'm
right.
grateful to be a part of OMORPHO. Thank you so, so much. You guys are the best.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.